So we've started the clean up, looking a bit cleaner already. Gone over the outside of the MAF just to obviously get as much oil off of that as possible. That'll save it dripping down even further. Carrying on back down and working its way back through. Giving the turbo a little bit of a clean up. Had a feel in there as well. The turbo feels good, so I'm not getting any problems with it, but it's just a case of making sure that everything is good for the time being. I was going to, like I say, take the headlight out so I could really get the airbox out and give it a clean up on the inside in there, but running out of time for today, so maybe I'll do that another day. What I have got though, ooh, there's a little chicken stick, so I'm going to use this just to clean down, just to get out as much crap as possible from in here. Hopefully that should get us all the way down and through so that we can clean it out as best as possible. You can see the oil shining there. Look, we need to get obviously a cloth in there or something, get that out, so we'll do that. And then I think obviously, yeah, the breather pipe as well, you can see that that's pretty nasty, clogged up, so we'll look and maybe we'll just whip that off quickly and give that a clean out, get as much of that oil out as possible. And then yeah, we'll get on, clean the MAF out, get it all put back together. Okay, so we've got our MAF off. We're going to give it a clean. We've got our liquid moly airflow sensor cleaner. You don't want to clean your MAF with anything else. There are very sensitive bits inside apparently, or there are, absolutely, I'm speaking from experience. So we're going to give it a good spray. Not going to go too heavy, but we go enough just to give it a good clean. So we'll start from one side and we'll go through to the other. Hopefully the focus will stay good. We'll start, just have a little spray outside of it. There we go, we can see. We're just going to spray straight in. Okay, and then from the other side. We'll just give that a few seconds to dry off, and then we'll do it again. Want to make sure that it's perfectly dry, absolutely dry, before we put it back on. We don't want to put it on wet. That's why we use this specific cleaner, because it dries off quickly. And then that should be it. Then we can start putting it back together. So while we're waiting for the MAF to dry, which is sitting up there just drying off, we'll give it a good 10 minutes, make sure it's absolutely dry. We'll install our new air filter, the one that we didn't install in the last video. Here it is, straightforward replacement, nice and clean. Let's have a look at the other one for comparison. Bit of a difference. Look at the colour inside. So it should let us breathe a whole lot nicer, hopefully. So we'll get this up and in. Straight in. We've cleaned it out in here as well, so it's nice and dry. You can see the oil stop dripping straight out the breather pipe. So we'll get this in, get the 3 screws put back on. We'll remember our locating triangle as well. Obviously we'll wipe this oil that's dripped off from underneath where we put it underneath. Clean it up and get that in, and then yeah, we'll see how the MAF's doing if it's dried out. When you install these filters, it's important to make sure that you get it all the way in. The rubber end, obviously at the top of it, has to go in and locate within the circle. Some people have seen before in these videos, just push it in and leave it standing about a centimetre proud, and then just ram the cover on over the top. It's not the way you want to do it. You want to get it so it goes in, and you should be able to let go of it, and it should stay there all of its own accord. So just make sure that it goes in all the way properly. Right, let's get the lid back on. Okay, so there we go, all back on. Locating lug is where it needs to be. 3 screws are done up, obviously not too tight, it's only plastic, so we don't need to torque them up or anything, just where they are. Parts are clean and ready to go back on. You see the amount of oil that was coming out of it, absolutely horrendous. Some of the brushes as well. So clean up here as well. Breather pipe, didn't get it off in the end, we just fed up there with one of the hoses, the brushes, bit inside the turbo. Feels good. So our MAF is dry, so time to put it all back together in the reverse order and fill this gap up and see how we go. Okay, so now all clips are back on, everything's looking good, we're nice and clean and tidy, no more grime, no more dirt in there. One last thing to do, we just need to get this plug back on. So I tucked it out of the way over here earlier, so as it comes back in, back on, slide it in delicately and carefully. So it's all back together under here now, all the screws are back in place. We were saying about it was dripping so much, we did get a drip of oil on the driveway. No good. Useful tip, before it had time to soak in, just put a bit of Sphero liquid on it. It seems to have dissolved most of it, so we'll get the hose pipe on that and give it a wash down later. Now obviously let's get the car down and we can start it up. Okay, so we're all back together, so let's give it a go. Looking all good on the dash. Get the key in, ignition on, boot open, yep, bonnet open, yep, check running lights, yep, and here we go. Perfect. No warning lights, no nothing. We're all good. Great. Okay, well, if you found this video useful, please like, please subscribe, check out my other videos. There's quite a few on there for this particular car, the 940 Alfa Giulietta. We'll be doing more coming up soon. I think we need to do the oil filter, other fluids, so we'll get that done soon. And yeah, like and subscribe, and see you on the next one.